Hello and welcome to another pottery studio vlog. My name is Shelby. I'm a full-time potter in Ballarat, Australia. The last vlog I left you with the market footage of where we have been preparing pottery pieces for months. We made over 500 artworks and they sold out. That is one of my most watched long-form YouTube videos I have ever posted. So I just want to say thank you so much for your love and support, not only to those that came to the market, but to those that supported me through that video. The vlog series was meant to be this way of showing you an insight into my business, but also us working together on something in a way. I wanted to do it again. So I want to take you behind the scenes of what I have to do to get ready for restocks, what I have to do to get ready for markets and things like that. I was waiting to start this vlog series again to find out about a little bit of news, and that is I'm doing another Finders Keepers market. But this time we're heading to Sydney. I'm doing the Sydney market instead for a number of reasons. Number one is because it is in December, so it's further away than the Melbourne market. The Melbourne market's in October. I want to do another Melbourne market, but because it was so close to the last one, it wasn't going to allow me enough time to make more than 500 artworks, because I need to make more than 500 artworks, obviously, because it wasn't enough. The second reason I'm doing the Sydney market is because it's close to Christmas, people are gift giving, it's exciting, people are wanting to spend for friends, family, all of that kind of stuff. So it's sort of like a strategy business-wise to do it near Christmas because gift giving's on people's minds. The third reason is because I wanted to come visit my friends in Sydney and New South Wales who couldn't make it to the Melbourne market. With the Sydney market, there's a bit more logistics because it is a 10-hour drive from here. I'm going to have to be a little bit more prepared. I can't forget anything this time, and if I do, I need to have a backup plan that I can get in Sydney. Yeah, that's the big exciting news. I want to eventually broaden out to coming to the other states and getting a bit of travel in and coming to visit your state as well. And who knows, maybe it can open up to international one day. Like, I would love to come visit you over in the US. I'd love to come visit you in the UK. So many of you said come visit you in the different countries, so like, I would love to. I just don't have the funds to afford that. And hopefully this can open doors to coming and seeing you and doing sort of like a world tour or something. I don't know. It just really excites me and I'd really love to meet you all. But for now, we'll go to Sydney one thing at a time and visit my New South Walian friends. Since the market, I had a lot of questions. One of them was, will you do another market? So I hope that answers the question. A few people asked me, do I sell online at all because they can't come to a market? And I totally understand that. I do have my online website. I was restocking it quite routinely, but because of the market and having to allocate so much for it, I haven't been doing that as much, but I will be having 2 restocks on my website. I'm going to have a Halloween restock and I'm also going to have one near Christmas. So it's going to have some Christmas stuff, but like general stuff as well. But the Halloween one is themed. The last market, I had a goal of 500 pieces. I was nervous about that goal being a bit ambitious. I thought I was only going to sell a fraction of that amount and then the rest would go online. You guys could shop it, but I'm gonna have to make so much more than that. With that said, there is only so much of me to go around. To double 500 would be a really amazing goal, but I don't know whether it's physically possible. My tally for this market is going to be 800 pieces. That is an increase of 300, but I'm also bringing some more merch items because that was a surprising thing that I didn't talk about in the last vlog. During the sales of all the pottery things, people were buying all my pins, they were buying stickers, they were buying my magnets, and I sort of just took them as like, oh, I'll just pop a couple on the table. I don't think they'll sell. But they ended up making like a big chunk of what actually sold and what was actually profitable at the market. With the 800 pieces, I'm also bringing some new merch. They are really cool. I've ordered those now. I ordered those the first week I got back just to make sure that they were coming. I'm also thinking I might take some of the Moldy Biscuits Paint Your Own Pottery kits. It's going to be somewhat similar to what I took to the first Finders Keepers. There's going to be some new designs I'm adding. There's going to be new pieces because we've got new mystery molds that have come out. I'm also making more of things that I didn't think would be popular but ended up being super popular. Anyway, I've been talking for way too long. Let's get cracking into this week's vlog and getting started. This list is based on what sold at the Finders Keepers last time. Put all the most popular things down and tally for how many to make. How can we get to the 800 tally with what's popular, how many times can we pour something so that we can make the numbers up for it. Last time with the tally, what I did was I actually popped down like just the mug or just a jar, but this time I've done like mugs with what the design is that we're going to do on them. Got a bit more of a direction and we don't get decision fatigue, because I mentioned that that was something that I really struggled with last time. The reason I didn't start this vlog when we started the tally was because I didn't know if we had been approved for the market yet. Just didn't want to promote it yet, just in case. And I hadn't fully committed to going to Sydney yet, but now I have. So that's why I wanted to get started, because worst case, those pieces could have gone online. Because we started, we've already finished a whole page. This is about 100 artworks. We've somehow managed to smash it. And I think it just helped because we had so much more direction, and that was really helpful. The studio has also moved around a little bit. I've got some new shelves in here. The fridges have moved and the whole studio has kind of moved around a little bit. Everything has a spot now. I have moved most of the molds over as well, so they're now inside the studio rather than in the old studio. I will eventually move everything over, and then that shed is going to come down and we're going to make a nice veggie patch. This is the list. We've got a few different sections on the list. So there's like the normal list, and then there's a section for Halloween, there's a section for Christmas, and there's a section for new mystery molds. Once I pour a new mystery mold to figure out how many I'm going to make, and I kind of have to guess whether it's going to be popular or not, and some of those things I've been wrong about. The way we keep track of it is we highlight it once we have poured all of the vessels for that item, and then we strike it out once we painted it. Here are all the molds behind me. These are all the ones I've revealed, and the shelves are barely full yet. I think I'm going to reveal this before putting this video out. I have to do that because otherwise you're going to see it. They are up here because we keep breaking the wings off. I think we're caught up. So I'm up to glazing some pieces, painting some pieces, and I can show you some finished results this week of what we've actually finished so far, and the first 100 that are going to the next Finders Keepers market. So let's get into it. So this vlog is in chronological order of what happened in the studio, but not chronological order of the steps of pottery. What I tend to do with my videos is show you the chronological order of the steps so that it makes sense, because I understand that for many of you, you're not familiar with the pottery process, or watching my videos is a constant refresher of the steps and how it happens, but it actually rarely ever happens chronologically. So from start to finish, it never really, it's always all over the shop what's actually happening in the studio. Like one day we'll be opening molds, one day we'll be glazing them, and then the next day we'll be cleaning them. It's just like a hot mess all the time. It's not a hot mess, but it's an ordered chaos. So I know what's happening, and that's why I have the list, because then I can stay on track of what's happening at every time. And because of the magnitude of work that I'm making and that my studio assistants are helping me create for these markets and restocks, I do have to have the list so that I know where each artwork is at, or where each collection is at, and what steps are next, and how my studio assistants can also come into that picture and help support me to get all these pieces done. So I wanted to share that, because this vlog was one of those times where we're kind of halfway through doing a collection while starting a new lot. So you saw before that we're cleaning up some of the Halloween pieces, and these pieces have already been painted. It's kind of all over the place, and you always have to have works constantly at the different stages. You know what it's like? It's kind of I don't know if many of you have a veggie garden and you have your different boxes at each stage so that they're always getting ready for the next step of growing and completing their life cycle. So you've got one that's cultivating and it's getting ready, you've got one that's resting, you've got one that's currently seeding, and you've got one that's fruiting. So it's kind of like that. Yeah, so I decided to make an intentional choice this week by just putting stuff when it happened rather than in an order so that you can follow it. Let me know if that's annoying. I don't know, because I know what's going on, but I also want to make sure that you enjoy watching these videos. I just felt like this is actually the reality of what is going on in the studio, is that things are always at different stages and it doesn't really make sense, but it all ends up making a beautiful artwork in the end. So after glazing all those bits, I'm now packing the kiln with those bits, and I hope you like those glaze shots. I had fun moving the camera around and getting different angles so you could really feel like you're in the studio with me. I sponged off all the bases because
I dry foot my pottery and move them over to buy them in the kiln. A lot of these pieces are the new mug shapes I revealed in that mug video, and you can see me moving everything around because they are so big and round. It was really awkward to fire them all and to fill in the gaps really nicely and to pack it the most efficiently. I try and get the most in the kiln at any one time because you're running it and it uses so much electricity. You just want to try and make sure you've got the most pieces in there. I also had to go over this kiln shelf that the kiln wash keeps flaking off of it, so I just touched it up. I usually do that during a bisque firing so it bakes on the shelf rather than a glaze firing, because sometimes it comes off on the bottom of the pieces anyway, even though there's kiln wash on there. But yeah, that shelf just keeps flaking off. I don't know why. There must be a residue underneath it. I was trying to see if I could fit 3 plates on that shelf, but yeah, 3 plates just don't work. It's just a little bit awkward. So I put some other little bits either side of the 2 plates, and then I quickly whipped these up because one of them was the perfect height to fit in one of the gaps of that shelf. There you go, look at it go. These are another new mug shape as well, and they're the sort of like honey pot looking design, and I decided to utilize that richness to add some glaze details whilst also having some of my illustrated work on it. Yeah, I'm really excited to play around with this idea of just like putting a really cool glaze combo to complement the design on the top. You saw there that those designs are coming out so nicely. The hill design you saw there with the sunshine and the beautiful flower hills was inspired by some of my travels I have done around Australia and the really beautiful hilly landscapes we can have in some of the lower regions. And I was really surprised at how many people snatched that design up. We sold out of that design so quickly, and I didn't even really share it on social media. Like, people were just really drawn to it. So I decided to bring back that collection again, but I also decided to do it in a bluey green colorway, and I was really looking forward to seeing it, and it just turned out so amazing. I can't actually decide whether I like the blue or the green more. I'll show you the results side by side at the end of the video, but I would love to know what you think. Do you like the blue or the orange better? I think I'm leaning towards the blue. It's really fun, but maybe it's because it's fresh to me. And even though it's the same design, it just looks so different and so much more vibrant. I don't know. I was also looking at all the new mug shapes. Some of the designs work so much better on the new mug shapes. Like, in particular, that hill design also looks really cool on that double-handled mug. Oh, I was just having so much fun with that blue. The blue hills are just so nice.
I'm a bit stressed. After Finders Keepers, I knew that I wanted to do another market, and it was a very telling sign to do another market after we pretty much sold out. And so I applied for the market again straight away, and also ordered everything that I needed to order so that I had plenty of time to get here so that we could work on everything. It's now September. I ordered clay at the start of July and I'm still waiting on it. I haven't heard anything about it. I keep calling them, I keep emailing them, and we are now on to our last batch of clay. Our very last batch of clay, which will probably last a week, if not 2 weeks maybe. We've been pouring a lot and we've got a lot of vessels there to paint, but it's the drying time. We pour everything to start so it's got time to dry, and we've got time to move on, and we've got time to replenish or pour things again if they break. It's just a little bit stressful, to say the least, because we can't really progress on ticking things off the list until we have more clay, and I'm worried it's not going to come in time. I mean, it is September, I've still got October and November, but there's all these other things I want to make as well. So I have had to really think about how we're going to progress for the next couple of weeks, how we're going to keep moving forward if we can't pour anything. And that's just something I don't need on my brain when I could be just like focusing on artwork, so on my creative vision for things. So yeah, it's feeling a little bit stressful. I wanted to document this because you'll understand when it finally does arrive why I'm so excited that it's here. Because it's literally been 2 months of waiting for this clay. Usually it comes within a fortnight. I don't know what we're gonna do if it doesn't come before the end of September, because I wanna do my Christmas advent calendars again. I want to do a Christmas restock, but I also want to do the Finders Keepers, but I'm probably going to have to sacrifice something if it doesn't come soon enough. Which is just, it's just so annoying. It's just annoying because I was so early this time. I have set up the molds here and we're going to just pour all the little stuff. We're going to pour mystery mold stuff so that I've still got content rolling out. But yeah, it's not an ideal situation to be in this early on in getting ready for a market.
Every year for Halloween, I have my content ready to go, but I never have the pieces ready to sell. So I never do a restock in time for the actual Halloween date. I have the content rolling out, but I never send them off in time so that they always arrive afterwards and then you have to use it next Halloween. But this year I was so determined to have my pieces ready for Halloween. I started working on these like as soon as Finders Keepers was done. I think in fact I had some pieces already going during Finders Keepers prep last time. So these are my little idea of bedsheet boo buddies is what I'm calling them. And they are an elaboration on this idea I did for a mystery mold of using vintage bed sheets to cover ghosts and having all the patterns show up rather than just plain white sheets, because I don't have a single set of plain white sheets in my house. They're all patterned and colorful and fun. So I wanted to make my own little versions of those. I also added some little mugs and little lollipops, and I think some had little mushrooms as well. I'm just remembering off the top of my head whilst I'm voiceovering, but I did all these little tiny ghosties and they've got hoops in their heads because they can hang, which is really cute because they will look like they're floating, but I'm going to turn them into the tea strainers because they were so popular. Oh my gosh, actually I could turn some into some key rings as well. Anyway, I'm going to turn them into some tea strainers so that they can go with the mugs I'm releasing for the Halloween collection, which include those pumpkin mugs from last year as well. So I thought it would be so cute to do bedsheet boo buddies that go with your cup of boo. The technique I did with the bedsheet boo buddies is I used tissue transfers. So these are screen printed underglaze designs and you pretty much dab them on like a temporary tattoo. So they are a lot of fun. You then peel the tissue paper off and it reveals the design. So you let it sit for a little bit. But yeah, it was really satisfying process and I wanted to test these tissue transfers out before actually committing to this concept I have for them for a mystery mold that's coming up. I've also wanted to design my own tissue transfers at some stage soon. I just feel like it's a way I could put a lot more detail into my work because underglaze is so chalky. Using a screen print makes it a little bit more fine line detailed and I could do a lot more with it and play around with collaging, and yeah, it's just like another technique that I could add, but also knowing that you've designed the transfers yourself. And I then wonder whether it would be cool to then be able to sell them and then you be able to use some of my designs. That would be pretty cool. Really great way to get a lot of detail on pieces really quickly. Also, how cute are the tiny little mugs? I thought I would be funny and I was originally going to do the mugs as just some cute little hand painted patterns, and then I decided to do these like keep calm and boo, and then the other one is live, laugh, boo. And that was so funny. I just wanted to play on these being like the cutest little chillin' ghosties. And something that I also loved about them is the way I shaped them so that they kind of look like they're hustling and bustling and running around the house, getting stuff done, or on their way to work or walking around the office or something. They just look so funny. Like their character has just come to life and they just brought me so much joy. Like I'm almost sad to separate them, but I hope that whoever snatches them up gives them a good loving home. I also did a bunch of kiln firings. I wanted to show this one in particular because I did the coffee mugs. Now these coffee mugs aren't super popular, but they also appeal to someone that doesn't necessarily want the like over the top whimsy stuff that I have. I don't really do that many of them, but I just do them for someone who wants to support me. And these coffee mugs that I did in this batch were actually a bunch of tester glaze combos. They are all the Amico ones, so you can just look them up, which is great. But I wanted to see how they worked in my kiln and on my pieces, and I was also trialing them because my partner wanted me to make him a coffee mug for his morning cover. This is the first time he's ever asked me for one. It's so funny to me that like After 6 years of doing pottery, this is the first time he's like, can you make me a mug? I can't believe it hasn't happened before now. But he wanted a design but with some cool glazes on it. And I was like, well, what color glazes? And he's like, oh, but what do you have? And I was just like, so many. Let me do some. So I did some with some random combos for him to pick one. And they all really turned out. They look really cool. They're really fun. They're all so different. And he actually picked the orangey creamy one and wants some flowers with it as well. If you saw on the orangey creamy one, it did repel a little bit from that mug. For his mug, I'll have to figure out why it did that, and I might have to just refire this one with a little bit more glaze and maybe just rub it a little bit to see if it will work. That leaves me to now firing my little bedsheet boo buddies and popping them in the kiln, and here is what they look like. That top shelf is missing because that is for the mystery mold that you will see next week. So these are the pumpkin mugs from last year. I did a reveal on these, but I stained the clay this time and I had no idea what these were going to look like, but look at how cool that is. That is such a vibe. Oh, I love the color of that stain. That's a chrysanthemum stain. They've got some really nice ultra stains and I'm finally trialing some out. But that looks so cool. This one is awesome because I thought it was a green stain, but it's actually an orangey pink stain. And the green over the top is really striking. I love that. I also improved on this design from last time because I didn't realize that the handle was going to be hollow. So I've actually filled the handles up with clay so that they're easier to clean. Oh my gosh, that is cool. Okay, so I'm actually going to talk about this one as well because this is another go at the shaving cream using your tips. I'm going to have a little short that comes out maybe this week on how I did that with your technique ideas. But that looks really cool. That's a much better improvement on what I presented. They were really not the best, but this looks pretty good. I'm very happy with that. So thanks for your help, guys. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Stop it. That is very classy. Distinguished gentleman. I love these tissue transfers because they give a texture that I couldn't achieve with painting, and that is it kind of looks like a newspaper print. So I'll pick this one up and show you what I mean. See how it looks a bit newspapery? It's very cool. Oh my gosh, would you look at that green? That is so beautiful. Oh my gosh. The marbling. Wow. I am just so happy with how these turned out. They look so fantastic and I wanted to show you the whole concept come to life. Here is the little tea strainer and it just goes on the little hoop at the end and then you can pair it with your favorite mug. Would you like to see some as key rings? Let me know because I got some keyring attachment things recently and I think that these could look really cool. I love all of the little things that they're holding. I love all the prints. They're just so groovy and it's just so nice when your vision comes to life, and I don't really show much of my hand building on this channel too much, so it was nice to do that for a change. I said at the start of the video that I would show you the finished results of all the things that I've been working on. Don't mind my fingers, I'm covering up a mystery mold that is to be revealed during Halloween. Here are some of them. I just wanted to show you one of each of those new mug mold designs that I've got. So we have the tall one, we've got the round curvy one that had a handle on it, but that's just an example without the handle. We also had the stacker mug, and this is the cute wombat mug. It looks so cute. It got a little bit of clay on it, just wiped it off. Here is that mug that had the repelling, and here's one of my favorite reactions that we got with the glaze. Here are the two curved belly mugs side by side. They all just look so great. I wanted to show you the comparison between the orange and the blue hill, so let me know what you think, but I hope that that was a quick little rundown. I obviously finished way more pieces than this, but I just wanted to show you one of each just for now. I think we're sitting on about 200 pieces for the overall tally. Okay, that's a wrap for this vlog.
I have decided that I'll do them monthly rather than weekly like I was doing last time. They were really great, but I have a lot of mystery molds now and I am well and truly working on those. I do want to constantly remind you that I'm going to the market so that you come, because it was so successful sharing so much video footage of getting ready for that. But I hope that you'll know that a lot of the mystery molds that I am working on are going to come to the Finders Keepers market. Otherwise, as a wrap up for this video and the things that have happened in this video, I still don't have clay. Officially used the last bucket last week. I'm hoping it's gonna come next week or even in 2 weeks time. But any later than that, it's going to put a real big stress on what we're doing. Yeah, I don't even want to think about if it doesn't come by then, because that's not going to happen. We're going to manifest that it's going to be here next week. So hopefully the next vlog is going to start with the clay delivery, but we'll wait and see. I am just about to wrap up all the Halloween stuff. You saw some of the pumpkin mugs I worked on and also some of the little ghosties that I made. They're going to be little tea buddies. Before I see you in the next vlog, I am going to be having the Halloween restock. I'm planning it for the end of September. I will confirm the date on my community page on YouTube and also on the other social media platforms. The thing about this Halloween restock is there's going to be some mystery items. So the mystery items are the mystery molds I haven't revealed yet. You'll get a chance to purchase them first and I'll randomly pick them out for people. I'm a little bit nervous to do that, but I feel like it's quite exciting because I have had a few people be like, can you do like a random purchase thing so I can just buy one? I don't know what it is, but it's one of the mystery molds, so I can like open it when the mystery mold comes out. So I'm hoping that there'll be 2 or 3 of those in the restock. No, there's going to be 2, I reckon. There's going to be 2 pieces where you can buy them before the mystery mold comes out and you can open it when you watch the mystery mold video. Thank you so much for watching another pottery video vlog. I really appreciate your love and support for what I do. It helps me to keep on doing these videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe to make sure that you stay in the loop for more of these videos, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna think I set this up. The clay just came. The clay literally just came. I just went to go put this shot at the end of the video and post it, because it's literally, you're going to get it the same night I've edited it. My partner was inside and he was like, hey, you got a big delivery. And I was like, what? I'm not expecting anything. He's like, a really big delivery. I was just like, don't know what I've ordered. And he was like, the clay. Just thank goodness. I don't have time to bring it all in right now, but it's here. So I'm just relieved it's finally here. I'm calling them the bedsheet. I'm calling them bedsheet. Calling those the bedsheet boo buddies. Oh my god. It was like, I want it.